Cool. All right. So this is our first stand up. We are Team Brainiacs, and our just a little bit of project context. We're working on fMRI images, so brain scan images, and using computer vision to measure brain regulation and pleasure up and down regulation in the brain. And so we're looking at different areas of the brain and that kind of thing. But today we're mostly going to talk about just what software we're using and some of the normalization that we used and maybe a couple next steps. So yeah, go ahead and kick us off, Stacy.
Yeah. So this past week, we've been working on getting our environment set up and how we're going to be working together and make sure that all the dependencies from our local environments are going to work, like the code's going to work with each other. So what we did is we've set up our Git repository. We all downloaded PyCharm, and we're going to work using that in Jupyter Notebooks. And that's mostly for like the supervised portion when we use SVM. And if we get to the deep learning portion, I think maybe we can go to something like Google Colab maybe. But anyway, we also are working with Docker, which will help us which will help with making sure that all the packages kind of work together, because I know that can be an issue later on down the road. And so we all have that working now. And then we created some kind of demonstration notebooks of how to, and we also put our data up on AWS. And so we created user accounts for everybody to access the data. And yeah, we have some demonstration notebooks to show how we got our data and how to take it from a MATLAB file to a NumPy file. So I don't know, I'll actually show just real quick what that looks like. This is our repository here, and we have some notebooks here. Maybe you can't see actually, but yeah, it's nothing really crazy. Yeah. Created a dictionary pickle file that contains all the paths for accessing AWS data. And then let's see, where are we? Access load data. It shows how we just kind of go about getting that data. And then we created like special functions to just do it in one cell to get the data from AWS. And then this notebook will go ahead and grab that dictionary, get the specific subject data that we want or label data that we want, load it as NumPy. So using SciPy package to take MATLAB data and just use it so we can use it in Python. And then you can run the cells and be able to see like the shapes of the data. And we have a visualization data notebook, but that's when we're going to load it as 2D. So we don't have it in 4D right now. Anyway, so that's what we did. And let me unshare that. And Mary, you can talk about what you have done with processing, normalizing the data.
Yeah, so before we started, I have all the images on a server that's housed in Michigan Medicine. That's where I'm doing my research, and that's the data we're using. So I went ahead and the images come in 4D, and we need them to be in 2D matrices for SVM. So I vectorized all the 3D dimensions, and then our rows are time. And so they're all ready to go. So that's pretty much the pre-processing I did. And then on Saturday, I uploaded the data and we're ready to go.
All right. Yeah. And so that's sort of where we're at right now. We're hoping that in the next week or two to have a couple MVP, just minimal viable product, support vector machine models to go ahead and separate the brain out and make predictions about the labels of the data. So that's the update from Team Brainiacs. We'll see you soon.